I've always thought of anger as something that comes and goes, like a storm. Loud, sudden, powerful, but just a storm. You wait it out, clean up the mess, and life moves on. That was before I realized some storms leave permanent damage. Some don't just blow over, they take things with them. The last time I saw my brother, I didn't hug him. I didn't ask how he was. I didn't smile. I didn't even look at him properly. I was too angry. It wasn't just him. Everything had been building up: work pressure, the never-ending bills, the stress of trying to be everything for everyone. I was stretched thin, emotionally worn out, and carrying a silent grudge against the world for not noticing how hard I was trying. So when I walked into the living room that evening and saw him sitting there, headphones on, the dirty dishes still untouched in the sink, I exploded. Not immediately. First came the deep sigh, the passive-aggressive clinking of my keys, the sharp way I threw my bag down. He looked at me and must have known it was coming, but he didn't say anything. He just paused his game and waited. And then I snapped. Seriously? You couldn't even clean up? I've been out all day busting my back at work, and you're just sitting here doing nothing. He looked at me, confused. I wasn't just... But I didn't let him finish. I was already on a roll. Angry words come so easily when you don't care where they land. They're like arrows fired in the dark, reckless but satisfying in the moment. You never help. You never think about anyone but yourself. I'm always the one handling everything. This house, these bills, this life. And what do? Sit around like a damn child. He just stared at me, not blinking, just tired. Then, without saying much, he grabbed his bag and walked past me. I don't even remember what I shouted after him, but I know it wasn't an apology. He left that night, and I thought, like always, he'd be back in a few days once we'd both cooled off. That's how it usually went. Some space, a few texts, maybe even a joke to break the ice. But days passed. No call, no message, just silence. I was still angry, but now it was mixed with something uglier. Pride. That voice in my head that said, why should I be the one to reach out first? Then came the call. When they said his name, my first thought was, what did he do now? Did he get into a fight? Lose something? Did he need money again? But no, it wasn't that. It was worse. He was gone. They'd found him in a small, cheap motel on the outskirts of town. No signs of struggle, just an empty bottle, a discarded phone, and a folded piece of paper with my name on it. I didn't cry. Not at first. I just stood there, holding that note in my hand, not reading it, just staring at it like it would change into something else if I waited long enough. Something easier. Something less final. When I finally unfolded it, it wasn't long, just one line. I was tired, and I wish someone had asked why. I read that sentence over and over. At first, it didn't even sound like his voice, but then I remembered the look in his eyes that day. Empty, drained, like he'd been waiting for something. Maybe kindness. Maybe a chance. Maybe someone to just listen. I'd given him judgment instead. Volume instead of understanding. Anger instead of care. And the thing about anger is it feels righteous in the moment. It makes you believe you're standing up for something important. Your dignity, your effort, your value. But often, it's a mask. A disguise for hurt, fear, frustration. And it doesn't solve anything. It just destroys. The truth is, my brother wasn't lazy. He wasn't irresponsible. He was depressed. I found out later, after digging through his emails, talking to a few of his friends, that he'd been trying to get help. He'd seen a counselor once, had booked another session but never made it. He was dealing with panic attacks. Silent ones. The kind no one notices if they're not looking closely. And I hadn't been looking, because I was too focused on my own struggle, too wrapped up in how I was drowning to notice someone else was already underwater. It's been years since that night. The house is quieter now, cleaner, sure, but colder too. I've tried to move on, tried to forgive myself. Some days I manage. Other days I hear his laugh in the back of my mind or walk past the couch and remember how he used to fall asleep there watching documentaries, pretending he was learning when he was really just trying to distract himself. I talk to him sometimes, just quietly. Not out loud, not with words. But I try to live better, kinder. I try to slow down when I'm angry, to ask questions before throwing accusations. To remember that most people who seem difficult aren't trying to hurt you. They're usually just trying to survive something you can't see. I've learned that no one really regrets feeling angry, but they do regret what they did because of it. And the worst kind of regret is the kind you can't apologize for, the kind where the person you hurt isn't around anymore to hear it. So now, whenever I feel that fire rising in my chest, I remind myself of what it cost me once. I remind myself that silence after an angry outburst isn't always peace. It can be permanent. That some words don't just hurt, they haunt. And that sometimes the most dangerous thing about anger is how convincing it can be.